My God, all that I want is your touch. My faith is heightened.
Hello, dearly beloved. Welcome once again to Moments where the presence of the Lord is always available to you to bring you to another level of your life, to know that there is hope, to know that there is help, to know that there is somebody who is ready to take you on, to lead you, to guide you, to protect you, and to direct the way that you should go, that you might not fail His plans for your life. So welcome once again to this moment of being in the presence of the Lord. In the book of Mark chapter 9, reading from verse 23 to 25, I just want you to know that there is a helper who is willing and able. There is a helper who is willing and able. It talks about a man whose child was in a very difficult situation. Briefly, he said, how long, that's Jesus in verse 21, it says, how long is it ago since this came unto him? How long ago has any situation so dire come to you? That same question can be asked, and oftentimes it can be asked. Know that if that question is asked, then there is an answer that is coming from the one who can help you. I'm talking about Jesus. So Jesus asked the Father that question. In verse 24, in verse 23, Jesus said unto him, okay, let me just backtrack to 22. He said, oftentimes, so the question was asked, how often has this situation been on? Then he says, oftentimes, 22, I'm talking about Mark 9:22. Oftentimes it has cast him into the fire and into the waters to destroy him. But if thou canst do anything, have compassion on us and help us. Jesus said unto him, if thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. Oftentimes we come to the Lord with doubts. And the book of James tells us that anyone who doubts, who comes to him doubting whether he can do or he can do, we should not expect any good thing from the Lord. Thank God that the Father, even though had a doubt initially, he said, help my unbelief. This afternoon or this moment, anytime that you listen, if you can believe, it can be in the midnight hour, it can be at the worst time, it can be the beginning of symptoms that is showing. It can be that you have erred somewhere and don't know what to do. There is a help. The psalmist said, I will look unto the mountains. From where cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord. What I like about the scriptures is that when the question is asked, there is always an answer. So any situation that you find yourself, there is no full stop. There is a comma. When you see a comma, then know that you can continue the sentence, or the answer will come from the after the comma or after the question mark. There is always an answer. There is always a way. When you come to that point, he either gives you strength to face the enemy, or he grants you wings that you can fly over, or he provides another way. You will never retreat. You will always have to look up, for your salvation draws near. That is the Father. He said, if you will help my unbelief. Indeed, Jesus could have maybe been annoyed. But then he says, if he repeated the father's question, if thou can believe, all things are possible to him that believe. We normally say all things are possible and we leave it that way. No, it doesn't work to unbelievers. It works only for the believers. That's why it says all things are possible to them that believe. So if you say all things are possible, it doesn't really mean anything. If you believe, if thou canst believe, you will see the salvation of the Lord. So the father said, help my unbelief. You have the opportunity to say, Lord, help my unbelief. Help, forgive my foolish way and take me back. Like the prodigal, he came to himself, say, I will go home, whatever the situation is, knowing the Father's heart. It's time to know the Father's heart. It's time to know Jesus and to know that God is love and his love is unconditional. There is a help. There is a helper who is willing and able. He is willing. Some people will be willing to help you, but they may not be able. And some people are able, but they will not be willing. But this God is willing and able to help at all times. He says, when you lack wisdom, ask of him. He will provide. He will show you how. He will tell you when to speak and when to be quiet, when to go or to stay put. He says, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. When they say stand still, it means look up and watch the Lord's direction. Because the Bible says, heaven is his throne and the earth is his footstool. So anybody who has an aerial advantage can do greater things than anybody who is walking on the ground. With you and I, let's fly on the wings of an eagle over every situation, over every storm, over every mountain. Help is on the way. God bless you all. Amen.